What I've seen is a continual decline. I've seen more and more properties that were nice and maintained with families in them to more and more blocks have at least one abandoned house or a house that just can't be maintained.
In West Virginia, where close to 70% of residents voted for Donald Trump in 2020, Reverend Derek Biondi's disappearing congregations are a sign of a broader, more complicated issue.
Churches just in general are struggling to stay open everywhere, but this is particularly a struggle in West Virginia because in West Virginia we're showing consistent population decline. I believe we're one of only 2 states in the entire country that have shown population decline between 2010 and 2020 census data, and this is really alarming.
In the post-pandemic era, West Virginia wants to lure young, talented, diverse people to work remotely. The governor and former CEO of Intuit launched a program offering $12,000 to those willing to move there, in hopes that the new spending power could revive the area.
That in combination with our broadband efforts will bring so many more people to West Virginia. We hope and pray at least.
West Virginia isn't the first state to try this. Cities in Alaska, Oklahoma, Iowa, Kansas, Arkansas, Vermont, Mississippi, and Georgia are doing something similar, but it's yet to be seen what long-term political or economic impact these programs are going to have. But not all West Virginians are on board.
On paper, the program looks like it would be a success and it would be wonderful. But why must we do this as a state when we have West Virginia struggling here?
Delegate Danielle Walker represents West Virginia's 51st district, which includes Morgantown, the first city to adopt the program.
What are you going to promise them with a $12,000 move? Are they going to start building more homes when we're going to already have empty ones? Are we going to clean up downtown Morgantown? What about the potholes when they start traveling? They're going to need at least $5,000 just for their vehicles. Because country roads take me home, but ooh, there's a bump.
West Virginia had the steepest population decline in the nation over the last decade. The decline even caused the state to lose one of its 3 congressional seats. And as the state struggles with basic infrastructure, some West Virginians wonder why the government isn't helping the people who already live there.
I have neighbors who are fighting for their jobs because we have a big plant in Mon County that's going to be closing.
The plant that Danielle is talking about is called Viatris, formerly known as Mylan Pharmaceuticals. It's been a Morgantown staple since 1965, and it's set to close at the end of July, outsourcing up to 2,000 jobs abroad.
So why are we not investing in those families? Our doors are always open. But we should not have to bribe anyone to come and see our beautiful mountains, to come and learn our culture.
Joe Goods and Chad McCormick are 2 longtime Mylan plant workers, soon to be unemployed.
Got it? Yeah. If you got questions, text me. Chad, I'll see you in the morning.
But as union delegates, they are still fighting to keep the plant open.
At one time, Mylan Pharmaceuticals was the #1 or #2 producer in generic pharmaceuticals in the world. When you came onto the shop floor, you knew you were manufacturing a medicine that went into the human body. There's a level of pride that attaches to you. You're making somebody's life better.
Once I found out that we were closing up shop, it was fairly devastating. I mean, I have 3 children, I have a wife, we have responsibilities, we have bills. That's a lot of clothes and a lot of mouths to feed. But when you have so many people's lives as your responsibility, you got to do what's right for the people and not what's right for you or big business or big money.
Chad, who cares for his family's pig farm, hopes to find work as a bus driver. He's anticipating his annual income to drop by at least $40,000.
So I have concerns and worries of politicians because I don't know that I trust them.
Both of West Virginia Senators, Democrat Joe Manchin and Republican Shelley Moore Capito, have been key negotiators for Biden's massive infrastructure bill, one of the administration's top priorities, and one that hits very close to home.
We need help. We are your constituents. We voted for you. We're telling you we find West Virginia acceptable and we like our home state. We want to stay here. We don't want to leave, but we may be forced to leave if things don't develop quickly with a solution to salvage this plant.
We're a lot cheaper than a lot of places in the United States to live. So why not invest that in the infrastructure side, put it into internet technology, and make people want to live here?
Derek met Joe Slack through their work in community development and supporting those struggling with addiction. West Virginia has been an epicenter of the opioid crisis. Joe is a former coal miner and has lived in West Virginia all of his life.
As far as how things have been going, we've been kind of all our eggs are in a single basket.
The coal mines. Most people wanted to go to the mine. That was the only place you could make good money. Everybody went from being proud to being proud with a little bit of fear, because that's the only thing that you can do around here to actually make a good living. So people were scared to death to lose it. The point of the matter is that we're suffering. You've got people that may be in Florida making $100,000 a year. They're going to give them $12,000 to come here and hope that it helps the people making $10,000 a year. I mean, come on. What good's that going to do us?
At this point, anything that helps bring people in kind of gets my stamp of approval, because when you're losing people left and right, anything to stop the decline, I'm like, okay, there might be a little bit of hope there. I'd say I'm cautiously optimistic about this because I know that we are kind of stuck in our own cycles. We're waiting for an industry to come back, that it's not coming back. My hope is that we'll see these communities that have people move in, they'll start to see that, you know, they have a tax base they can draw on. Maybe the schools improve, and maybe it's one of those things that in the short term, it might seem like a great cost, but if the long-term benefit is substantial, then other communities might realize that we need to follow suit.
Derek is stepping away from preaching to help the community in ways he hopes has greater impact.
And so I think that we need to reimagine what hope is and what hope for the future looks like. I think it's a powerful word. I've seen people that have been in the midst of addiction that have come to recovery, and that word for them means something. And I think that we are addicted to industries that are killing us in this state, and if we can recover, if we can move on to something new, then we can claim that hope in a very similar way.